All right, Gordy. Good morning, guys. Already off to a bad start trying to talk. I hope you guys are doing well. Dan, let me put your comment back up, Dan. It's worth. Did I get my bonus yet for the great weather? No, I haven't. But I'll leave it up there. Maybe the bosses will see that before it's over. Hope you guys are doing well. I am wave meteorologist Brian Good on this Friday. Finally Friday, right? Certainly the main talk we're going to be discussing is the front for this weekend that'll arrive tomorrow night, how it may still influence our weather and likely will influence our weather for your Sunday. And then we'll get into the discrepancy where we are kind of on the fence on things here when it comes to the Thunder Over Louisville setup for next Saturday, which again is coming up real fast. But even for the practice show, which as we always say is Louisville's little small Thunder air show, if you will, that usually is around lunch on the Friday before Thunder. We'll be talking about that setup too. If you're going to be in downtown having lunch plans, to let you know what to expect. As always, you can comment. A lot of you already have on social parts of this feed right now, which will be on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Of course, if you're watching on the app itself or on Roku and Fire Stick, you will not see the comments yet. Although if you're watching this back later today on the replay, I do put the comments into the system at that point, so you should be able to see them. So if your name was flashed up today so far, like Angela's is right now. Hello, Angela. Hope all is well there in Taylorsville. You will see that show up on the VOD for later on. All right, let's start with, let's see, what do I want to start with? Let's start with the storm outlook. All right. Well, we do not have any outlook out for today or tomorrow or Sunday. Now, having said that, I always say that a lot. Looking at the aspect of the front as it approaches and its speed, it wouldn't surprise me there may be one added. Not so much Saturday, Sunday. There could be a marginal risk added between Louisville and Lexington. I do see some support that could be the case, but I'll explain why I think that here in just a second. Outside the moment, a lot of sunshine looking live there, of course, at the old National Bank in downtown Louisville. Louisville obviously is trying to come together at what has been an incredible week of a tragedy for us. We're all pulling for Officer Wilt and all that are trying to recover right now. So keep your thoughts and prayers with their families. And we, of course, will keep you updated on the news side of how things evolve with his health and everyone's health as we have the next few days. But guys, just take care of each other is the key thing. Support one another during this time. It's a difficult time for sure. All right, here we go with the latest on satellite and radar. I told you yesterday, everything is going to be moving backwards. That's what we're looking at, southeast to northwest. So when you look at the wave weather app on the radar function, look to the southeast of your neighborhood. If there's a green blob there, it's likely coming to visit. Now, there's no thunder indicated here, and there could be some. We're not to the point yet where thunder can be generated, but there could be one or two that may try to form. This whole system is odd to me because when I first started talking about it, I think I mentioned it on the blog, and let me know if I'm incorrect there. You guys pay more attention than I do. But this to me looked like it was going to be a tropical low or tropical setup in the Gulf. That's what it looked like on paper anyway, and that's the trend it looked like. And even on the satellite representation today, it looks like a tropical depression to me. I think that's what's led to the tornado potential that we've had across Georgia, the incredible amount of rainfall around Fort Lauderdale, over 2 feet of rain. That's a tropical type of setup when you get this kind of a presentation on the radar like this. So if that's the case, you may not get a ton of lightning until later on today, but in general, usually there's not a lot of lightning on a tropical system this far away from the center of it. But we'll watch it. I do think this is going to be moving. It already is starting to. It's moving a little more northeast. It's going to be right into central areas of Kentucky, and then it's going to head off to the east, and then boop, there it goes. Then it's gone. All right, so it's not exactly going to be one that's going to linger for the entire weekend. It's really a today thing. And because it is throwing in moisture from the west, from the east, heading west, it's confusing to always say that. The mountains do rip apart some of this. So only the areas, I think, that are a little closer to, say, Marion County, Washington County, Kentucky, if you are in the gravel switch, Lebanon, Kentucky, you are not exactly going to have much of an influence protection from some of the higher terrain in eastern Kentucky. So some of those could actually hold together, and you may get a quick downpour thunderstorm this afternoon in your area. I think really for between Louisville, though, and down toward Bowling Green, I don't think there's really going to be much right now heading your way, but we'll watch it. But that's the one little system that we're watching today. Rain chance is not very high, but it is going to be cloudier because the clouds are just flowing around it. So we won't see as much that blue sky. This is the next system already in the Rockies heading our way. It's going to kick up the severe threat later on today into Nebraska and Kansas and very far northern areas of Oklahoma. Then we get into another day of an enhanced risk for Arkansas. This is wild. I mean, this is not the same setup, by the way. This is nothing like what we saw in the past 2 or 3 systems in severe weather. This system's got a kick to it. It's going to produce severe weather, but to the level that we saw with the past few, this is not that type of setup there. It's got just enough of the shear going on to produce severe weather, just enough fuel to produce the large hail potential and some damaging winds, but anything more than that is not really outstanding there. But still need to watch it. It's a slow moving front, so I really don't think it's even going to show up within our counties even until perhaps after midnight Saturday night. So that means the entire day on Saturday will be sunny. It'll be a little more humid, but sunny, temperatures in the 80s. Not bad on Saturday. I plan on taking care of some things in the yard, so I would make the same plans. My advice to you, do the same thing. Then we get into what's going to happen after that, which is where the risk does shift, kind of jumps over us, all right, because it's accounting for the nighttime period. Everything calms down, nothing's going on, but the front's still moving quietly, tiptoeing along. And then we get into the heating of the day on Sunday. Boom, they pop. There goes your marginal risk in that zone where they fire back up again, which is east of us. But my concern here, and it's not a huge concern, is that the marginal may have to be drawn a little more closer to I-65. There is going to be a buffer zone here that we need to be aware of, that they could fire up a little sooner than what the models are showing, and that's possible. It's nothing major, but at least want to mention it. Let me show you what it looks like on our high-res models, and again, you're looking at a lot of things here, but temperatures in the 70s today. The flow, again, the center of the tropical depression wannabe into Tennessee. Again, everything's flowing this way, so as I get rid of my scribbles, you'll see everything kind of flowing in that direction, and the low just quickly moves out. It's out of here. Then we get into your Saturday. Again, much of the day Saturday will be spent in the 70s and 80s. There go the storms firing up along the front as we into Saturday evening across Missouri into Arkansas. Then it heads east. Now look how it just fell apart. This is one of those setups, again, where the thunderstorms move too far away from their source, their energy level, so they have nothing to run on. They run out of gas. The rain portion tends to disintegrate quickly, but the wind can usually linger. So this is a classic setup right now that I can tell that late Saturday night, even as the radar begins to show the rain breaking up, the wind, and I'm talking like a 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gust, nothing overly strong, but the wind may keep going and going and going to about I-65. So you may hear the wind chimes perhaps in the wee hours of your Sunday morning. You may hear the wind on the breeze outside now, and that is pretty typical. It's just the wind, the gust front from the actual thunderstorms where the storms have fallen apart. That's what it looks like to me. That's the most likely scenario. But the front again, wherever it stops where that wind shift, which will be very close to I-65, that is where we start the thunderstorm chance as we head into Sunday. And that could happen as early as lunch on Sunday. If we get past, say, 12, 1 o'clock, and they have not fired along I-65, we're good. It's over. It's I-75 that'll be watching for it. And again, this is where hail could be a threat there. You can get some damage and winds. It's not exactly a tornado setup, but could get a couple warnings out of it. And then it continues to go all the way to the east of that into Ohio. So again, it's roughly midday on Sunday. If anything fires, then it will be at that point, but it's a very narrow window because we may have temperatures in the 60s when you wake up Sunday morning. I think it's likely to have temperatures in the 60s, well into the 60s, by the way, maybe even close to 70 on Sunday morning. But temperatures will begin to fall through the day on Sunday. So Sunday morning will not be like Sunday evening at all. Temperatures will begin to drop. Hold on. I got a spammer. Hold on. All right. I think I got him blocked. There we go. Temperatures will begin to drop. Then we deal with the we call this the comma head of the low pressure dips down. Now, different models have different ideas how to handle this Sunday into Monday. The NAM especially wants to take the core of the comma head right into the Ohio Valley and even tries to have a rain-snow mix. Yeah, I said it. Rain-snow mix Sunday into Monday. I don't see that happening here. The boundary layer this time of the year, especially in April, usually overwhelms a setup like this. So it could happen up here around Indianapolis or even further north. But a cold rain, yeah. I mean, it's going to be kind of a icky, kind of chilly rain setup as into Sunday night and even early Monday. It's going to be a cold pocket. Right now, I think we'll have enough cloud cover to prevent frost at the moment, but it will get chilly. There's no doubt about that. Certainly for the kids going to the bus stop Monday morning, they will need those winter coats back once again. So kind of an up and down forecast here for the weekend. Nothing too extreme, nothing too damaging. It's just a lot of changes you've got to pay attention to, especially when it comes to what you're going to wear, because it will depend on what time of the weekend you have outdoor plans. Okay, that moves on by. We're done. We begin to warm up. Now we get into Thunder Over Louisville's outlook. As we head toward the middle of the week, everything looks good. We're going to warm up. It's a nice, strong warming trend, by the way, in the middle of the week. And then we get another cutoff low. This has been the year of them. Cutoff lows like this, they want to move through at their own pace. They are in control. They are very stubborn. It's like having a 2-year-old move across the United States. There is typically going to be a front at some point attached to that is going to be highly angled. How quickly do we get the tail, the actual front, to move through? And will the core, the comma head of the system, will it get close to us or stay away from us? Two important questions, and the models just don't know yet which way to go with it. We do know by the time we get into Friday, it is more than likely going to be a warm Friday. We could be in the 80s on Friday, but there is going to be a signal for thunderstorms as we head into Friday. That's kind of a bummer for our personal air show moment they'll have on lunch here. To hear, certainly if we can hear the F-35s fly over, that'd be cool. But if we have thunderstorms around, that may tamper the show. I believe some years, I'll have to check. I think sometimes when they've seen this in an outlook, they've moved the practice up a day to a Thursday. And that may be the case this week as a solution, but I'm not in control of that. But Friday right now is arguing for a storm potential setup there. So this is the Euro. The Euro brings in that idea. And then here we go, Saturday, 3 a.m., raining, the Great Lawn getting muddy. Keep that in mind for your placement. And then by the time we get into the air show and for fireworks, now we'll have some clouds around, but they'll be breaking up. Should be dry, but it will be cooler. I'm talking about right around 60 or so at the waterfront. But the rain would be over with, and it would be an improving forecast. That's the Euro idea. Now let me show you the GFS idea. It also sees the idea of the warm front or the warm flow, and then you get the front angled over the area, but it's much slower with this. it really stalls the whole system out to where Friday, yeah, we enter into the storm zone, but not all the way. I mean, here we are at 6 a.m. on Saturday, and the tail, the front, it's showing, it looks like it's more here, but actually it's more over the whole area. So it's kind of still draped. It hasn't moved any from Thursday to Friday. It's still there, keeping us warm. Even as we head into the air show, still to our west for the most part over the area. This idea from the GFS would mean partly sunny, windy, and temperatures perhaps into the 80s with a chance for a storm, which would be more likely late Saturday night into Sunday, and then we get cooler. Big differences in the output for Thunder this year, and the speed of that system is absolutely crucial. We know we're going to have warm air and thunderstorms ahead of this event. We know there's going to be cooler air behind it. Where do the air show and the fireworks display shows, how do those fit into either idea? We just don't know. They're kind of shifting back and forth, about a 24-hour jump. That's too much of a gap for us to work with right now with high confidence. So we're going to keep the chances low on the rain. Temperatures, I still like the idea of warmer on Friday than Saturday. We'll see how this plays out on the timing. I think over the weekend we'll have a better idea. But cutoff lows are very difficult to time out because, again, with a cutoff low, you don't have any real decent train track to follow. And we've got blocking going on in the Atlantic. The system that's actually arriving here tomorrow night into Sunday is still on the weather map. It's just way up there into Nova Scotia. So it's, in a way, it's to blame for the backlog of systems after it. So just stay close to forecast. We'll keep you updated as we get a little closer on that. I think we say that all the time as our crutch, but it's true. We are watching it because we're working it. We're going to be out there all day, rain or shine. We're out there all day. So I'm voting right now. I wouldn't mind the cooler 60s idea that the Euro has. We could dress warm, and I think we'll be fine as long as we have, no rain, a decent ceiling for the air show. The 70s idea is fine, but if a storm chance is always looming in the back of our mind, I think it's going to be a little more stressful, mainly just for meteorologists. But if we're always just looking at the radar to see if something's going to come in or not. So both of them are not the best, but if I had to choose one over the other, I think the 60s one, I think would be a lot easier. All right, I'll leave it there, guys, for now. I'm going to get ready for the midday show, and I'll keep you updated on the storm chance as we head into your Saturday night and Sunday and see if we have to do any more adjustments. We'll have an update from the Storm Prediction Center on that outlook on Sunday. That'll be a little late today. It'll be about 2 o'clock this afternoon before we get that update. So, but we'll have it for you as soon as it is indeed issued there. All right, guys, have a good one. Stay safe and enjoy your weekend.